Hi, my name is Pamela Landwirth, President and CEO of Give Kids the World, a nonprofit destination for families worldwide who have a child with a critical illness whose one wish is to experience all the magic that Central Florida has to offer. We provide accommodations, meals, attraction tickets, and so much more for a week-long experience, all at no cost to the families. But that's not what I want to focus on today. As you all approach the end of one chapter in your life and enter a new one, I want to take some time to talk to you about something else that is near and dear to my heart: purpose. And what better way to introduce the concept of purpose than to tell the story of a man in a polar bear suit? John Belden is the CEO of Davidson Hotels and Resorts, a company with thousands of employees, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, and a footprint from Hawaii to Florida. Not long ago, John was at Give Kids the World for a partnership summit. The summit took place over 2 days, and I'd arranged for volunteer opportunities for the participants. Day one was a Thursday, the day we stage our weekly winter wonderland. We celebrate Christmas every Thursday, complete with a visit from Santa Claus, snowfall, horse-drawn carriage rides, and of course a parade. John's assignment that evening was to be the happy dancing polar bear in the parade. Now, yes, it was 90 degrees outside, and yes, John is a respected C-suite executive, but we needed him in that furry, hot polar bear costume, so in he went. During the parade, a little girl spotted the polar bear, and it was love at first sight. When John approached her family, she popped up and gave him a big hug. And in that moment, the girl and the polar bear became fast friends. Now, if any other child tried to get close to her polar bear, she would simply elbow them out of the way. Nothing was going to come between them. As a matter of fact, she was so taken by the polar bear, she asked if he would stop by her villa later that evening to tuck her in. Now, that's a job that's usually reserved for our mascot, a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit named Mayor Clayton, but the polar bear immediately agreed. So when the parade ended, he headed to the family's villa. There he held the little girl's hand, gave her a hug, and gently tucked this fragile little girl into bed, and watched as she drifted off to sleep. At our session the next morning, when I asked about everyone's volunteer experience, John spoke first. "I have a beautiful family," he said, "and I run a very successful business. I have wonderful friends in my life. But I tell you, my life was incomplete until my volunteer experience last night." At that point, you could have heard a pin drop. John was articulating the power of purpose, the impact of what it's like to make a difference. Now, here was a man who had reached the pinnacle of success professionally, a man with a wonderful, loving family. And in spite of all these blessings, something was still missing. His journey had been incomplete until the volunteer experience connected him and that little girl, and him to a deeper understanding of what matters most. Purpose matters. One of my favorite quotes is from Mark Twain. "The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." Purpose is the why. When you live with purpose, you live with passion and energy. You feel whole, connected to something bigger than yourself. Purpose is transformational. Your spirit buoyed by the foundation that you know who you are and what you're meant to do. Having a sense of purpose makes you more resilient to adversity. It gives you a better perspective on what really matters the most in life. And most of all, purpose inspires hope. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, "Whoa, slow down. I'm just about to graduate from college. I don't have a job or a place to live. And if you've noticed, this global pandemic isn't making things any easier. Let me just take a breath." To that, I would say, I get it. Life seems so full of barriers now more than ever. We have a constant state of affairs that is disorienting and unsettling. The steady stream of bad news delivered via social media and 24-hour news cycles breeds anxiety and threatens to suffocate hope. It can be overwhelming, leading people to become apathetic and disconnected, learned helplessness. But no one is saying that you must know your purpose at any certain age. If you've already found a driving purpose in your life, you're one of the very few fortunate people to have realized it so young. I certainly didn't find my purpose at a young age, and I grew up in an environment steeped in purpose and service to others. My father devoted his life to service from a very early age, and then became a minister later in life, one who counseled people battling addictions. He would always say to me, "Pamela, it's not about me. It's about what I was put on earth to do." So that concept was ingrained in me from a very early age. Every Saturday was spent volunteering, and every evening was spent having dinner talking to my parents about the importance of serving a greater mission. Well, after college, I went to work for Disney for 16 wonderful years. Now, Disney is a remarkable company, and my time there was invaluable. And although it wasn't my purpose, it certainly helped prepare me for fulfilling my purpose later in life. I didn't discover that until I was introduced to Give Kids the World Village by Henry Landwirth. Henry was a Holocaust survivor and a successful hotelier who'd founded the organization in 1986. I was introduced to Henry and to the village in 1992. And almost immediately I sensed that this was what I was supposed to be doing with my life. These children and these families, they were my purpose. But many other people find their purpose later in life. People like Joe. Joe is a postal worker from Philadelphia, and every day for 38 years he worked through rain, snow, sleet, and hail to make sure that the folks on his route had their mail delivered. But Joe found his purpose only after he retired to Central Florida and began volunteering at Give Kids the World. In all, he volunteered more than 20,000 hours. That's like working 40 hours a week for more than 10 years. Now, chances are it would take some time for you to land your true purpose. The key is to be open to all the possibilities that life will show you. Seek out organizations and companies that not only articulate their purpose in their missions, but also live it. Seek out and surround yourself with people who are aware of their search for purpose, and be the type of person attuned to this type of search as well. What are you drawn to do? What energizes you? What leaves you with the feeling that you're making a difference, and that in doing so, you're fulfilled? Maybe it's supporting an organization like Give Kids the World. Maybe it's cleaning up a river, or mentoring a child, or visiting a senior center. Whatever connects you to something bigger and deeper, something that matters. I'd like to share another one of my favorite quotes, this time from Pablo Picasso. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. As I mentioned earlier, we are living in tumultuous times. And I understand the desire to want to hide under the covers and shut out the rest of the world. Don't. Don't allow your light to be dimmed. Don't let hope become a casualty of chaos. Hope and purpose are more powerful than chaos and uncertainty. Now, they're not a cure-all. They can't inoculate you from bad things or explain why bad things happen, but they are the only things that keep you moving forward despite the chaos. Now is the perfect time to take inventory of yourself and your life, both in terms of what it has been and what it can be. Embrace the world and its chaos. Get involved with the causes that touch you. Serve the people around you. Find and live your purpose, because when you do, I guarantee you the world will seem much less daunting and much more remarkable. And every chance you get, step into a polar bear suit. Congratulations and thank you.